This is Debbie Marcoux, the Mortgage Mom. Well, I've had a lot of questions lately. What can I do to bring my monthly payment down until interest rates get better? Well, if you are a buyer and you're out looking at homes, what you want to focus on is a program called a 2-1 buy down. If the market rate today is 7%, you would start your first year at 5%, year 2 at 6%, and year 3 through 30 would be at that 7%. It's a great way to enter the market today, knowing that rate cuts are just around the corner. Give us a call or head on over to our website at mortgagemomradio.com.
Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, NMLS ID 237926.
When you're in need and don't know where to go, pick up the phone and call Mom.
Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, NMLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida L076508, Georgia 69178, Idaho MLO 208023796, Illinois 031.0058339, Missouri, North Carolina I210940, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington MLO 237926.
She's a mortgage mom. She can get things done. When you're in need and don't know where to go, pick up the phone and call Mom.
All right, so welcome to Mortgage Mom Radio. I am Debbie Marcoux. I am the Mortgage Mom, and I am having a rough one. I have got this awful back pain going on, so bear with me. I apologize if I don't have the same smile that I usually do. I am in pain. Anyway, welcome to Mortgage Mom Radio. I'm Debbie Marcoux. I am the Mortgage Mom, and I can see that my dad has jumped on, Heather got on, and so did Lori, and all have said hello. So thank you so much, guys, for being here. I want to remind everybody that this is an interactive show. You are more than welcome to put your questions into the chat, and I'd be happy to read those out loud and answer them for you. Today, we are going to be talking about relocating, and whether you are moving an hour away or you are moving across the country, relocating can be something that is a difficult task. And a lot of people don't quite understand how it works or what they need to do to get prepared. So we do want to talk about that with you today. A lot of my listeners also don't realize that we can help you in multiple states. So we are licensed in many states on the West Coast. We've got Washington, Nevada, Arizona, California, all of those close together states where a lot of people are moving. And then we've also got the big states that everybody seems to want to move to. So we're helping people in Florida and in Texas and in Tennessee, Georgia, Illinois. So if you have been thinking about moving, we would love to be able to help you. All you need to do is to reach out and ask us if we can help in the state that you want to relocate to, or that maybe you are, getting relocated to. Maybe your job is transferring you. And so we're going to talk about all of those things. Maybe it's something that's just a personal family decision and you guys want to move to another state. You don't like the state that you're in. And, that's not just people leaving California. There's people going to California from other states. And there are people that are moving from Texas to Tennessee. And so we want to talk about getting you guys prepared for a move. And trust me, even if it is an hour away within the same state where you live today, that can be a challenging feat. So we do want to make sure that we've got you guys all prepared and ready to go. I can see Lori says, do you still have the first time buyer assistance, and how long between buys? So we do have first time buyer assistance. Yes, those are down payment assistance programs, and those are meant for a first time buyer. So the general rule of thumb would be that you cannot have home ownership, no ownership in any real property within the last 3 years to be considered a first time buyer. So if you own a property today and you're you're looking to go and buy another property, you are not considered a first-time buyer. If you owned a home previously and then you sold that home and it's been 3+ years since you sold it and you did not rebuy, so you've been renting for those 3 years or living with family, then you would be considered a first-time buyer. But yes, we do still have those programs. There are many of them, and we can definitely help you in that arena. Karen did jump on. She is my mother-in-law. I saw it jump in and now I can't find it. Oh, she said, ouch. And yes, guys, it's just a sign of getting older for real. I have had this before. It has been, a day or two and then it goes away. And I am on like day 7. And I know that everybody out there that has had back problems can absolutely empathize. It drives you crazy. The pain literally makes you crazy. I feel like I'm in a bad mood. You're irritated. You can't get through it. It's just nasty. It's miserable. And it's been like 7 days. So my kids keep looking at me and they're saying, Mom, don't you think it's time to go to the doctor? Mom, don't you think that it's time to go to the doctor? And I can't come to that decision because I feel like it's going to get better. I'm young enough that it'll just get better on its own. So I probably need to break down and hit that doctor coming up here real soon. I can see that Shar jumped on. I love you, Shar, and she's here with a big heart into the chat. So thanks so much for joining. Shar is a really good friend of mine from my hometown in Illinois, and she lives on the water and she loves her boats, and she's bought herself a bunch of property actually down in Missouri, and so she's going to be making that big long haul as well. So again, this is a great show to talk to you guys all about relocating and everything that you need to do to get prepared. So enough about me. Again, if I seem like I'm not my same chipper self, I apologize, but let's just jump right into it and start talking about relocating. So some of the questions that I get, and so I do want to touch on those, I think that are very, very important to understand, is when you're relocating, what do you need to provide to qualify for a loan? So that is one of the most important things to understand. There are many people that want to sell the home that they are in and they want to cash it out, take the proceeds. They want to move to the state where they want to move to. They want to buy a home. They want to get there. They want to get all set up. They want to get settled. And then they want to go and they want to look for a job. So if you are not receiving income outside of employment income, that does make it rough to do it in that order. And so that is very hard to do because as a mortgage company, we need to verify that you have income to pay the mortgage. So if you're leaving the job that you're at and you're moving to a completely new area, you don't have a job set up there, there is no income to verify. So there are ways around it if that is your plan, if it's your goal to move in that direction. You don't want to try to find a job first. You think that you just want to get there and get settled. There are ways around it, but it is difficult. So we're going to talk about that scenario first. Obviously, if you've got income coming in from other areas, so if you're retired, you have a pension, those are no problem whatsoever. It doesn't matter where you live, obviously, and we can verify that income and you can truly just go wherever you want. If you are somebody who has a job that is a remote job and you can work from anywhere that you want to work from and your income isn't going to change, again, super simple scenario. But for that person that is a doctor, a physician, a nurse, a firefighter, a police officer, you work for a construction company, you're part of the union, you're an electrician. So there's a lot of things that people do for a living, but you literally work locally and you have a job that pays you locally. So when you move, we need to figure out how are we going to determine what your income will be to get you qualified. So we're going to talk about that in that scenario. I do see that Tracy jumped on and said, "Hi, Debbie, so sorry you're in pain. Can you help me buy a home in Connecticut? My partner and I are first-time buyers." So I am not licensed in Connecticut Connecticut, but you are more than welcome to reach out to me, and I would be happy to give you suggestions of who you should reach out to and who you should call for home loans in Connecticut. So please feel free to do that. And this is a great time for me to remind everybody, you are more than welcome to go to my website, to mortgagemomradio.com. And there is a contact us button on the website that will send an email, and it does come directly to me. So if you send me an email, let me know that you're looking for someone who can help you with a loan, with a mortgage in Connecticut. I would be more than happy to get you referred over to somebody. So please feel free to do that. We've got many contacts all over the place. So if we are not licensed in the state where you want to go, I have got great people that I can refer you to. So please don't hesitate. Please do that. That was a great question, Tracy. Thank you so much. So I do want to get into that scenario about making that move and not having that job set up first. I think it's very important that we discuss what are the options available for you in that scenario. So the first scenario that we're going to talk about is you want to sell your home. You want to cash out the proceeds from your home. You want to move to a new state or even a new location, again, an hour away or longer within the same state is going to act very similarly. You know, most mortgage companies are looking at, can you continue to work the job that you have? The further and further and further away that you move from your job location, the longer that commute gets and the harder that it is for you to stay at that job and to be able to maintain that job. So when we get more than 60 miles away, there are exceptions that need to be made for you to qualify utilizing the same job. So this is not just relocating out of state, but this is anybody wanting to make a move that is really longer than 60 miles away. So in that situation, you want to sell it, you want to move, you want to get set up, you want to buy the house, you want to get set up, and then find the job. So let's talk about that. So number one, there are loans that will allow you to do that. There are loan programs that do that are around, that are available to you, that you can do what is called basically a no ratio loan. We are not qualifying income for you to qualify for that loan product. Now, in that scenario, I personally am not a huge fan of those loans, not if there's any other way to avoid them, because they are going to carry a much higher interest rate and they're going to require a much larger down payment. But that loan type is available, and it is the perfect loan type for somebody in that scenario, because you can, once you get that job and you start that job, you can then refinance that loan so we can get you out of that high interest rate, drop that interest rate for you, lower that monthly payment into a much better cash flow monthly, but you were able to succeed in making the moves that you wanted to make in the order that you wanted to make them. So that is a loan program that is available. I do like them for a short-term option. I do not like them for a long-term option. When we're talking about a really high interest rate, you've got to think of it like it's a temporary solution. But those loan programs do exist. So that is one option to make that journey work in that order. I do see that Nancy jumped on and said, hi, just wanted to say that you were very thorough when I reached out regarding purchasing out of state. Nancy, thank you so much for saying that. And I loved our conversation. It was awesome. And I cannot wait for you and your son to be able to purchase the home that you are looking for. And I am ready when you are. So please, thank you so much for making that note in the chat. I appreciate it. Anne says, do I have to qualify if I was paying cash in another state? So Anne, absolutely not. If you want to pay cash, you want to sell your home, or you've just got the money sitting in an account in cash and you want to pay cash for that home, you absolutely do not have to qualify. There is no loan to get, so you are free to do whatever you want to do. And I wish that all of us had that same kind of opportunity. So good for you. I think that's awesome, and have at it. Go find what you want if that is the scenario that you have available to you. Tracy did say, thank you, we'll be in touch. So you are very, very welcome, and I'd be more than happy to help you. I've got really, really great loan officers that I can refer you to who can absolutely help you with what you need. So let's go to scenario 2. What is another option that we could do for you If you want to make that move, you want to sell your home first, you want to take the proceeds, you want to buy another home somewhere that's more than an hour away from where your job is located, and you want to get there, you want to get moved in, you want to get settled, and then you want to search and find a job. So option 2 would be that you could be looking at purchasing that next home as a second home. So we could look at it like it's a second home vacation home. You would need to have enough money in the bank to come up with the down payment before your home sells. So if you have enough to hold on to your home, because it's not going to be a second home, it's not going to be a vacation property for you if you are selling your home for the proceeds to go buy that home. But if you can afford to come up with the down payment, and you would need about 10% down, if you can afford to come up with that down payment first, and buy that next property while you maintain the home that you're living in and then sell it and cash it out, that would be another opportunity for you to take a look at. And we could do it in that way. You would have to qualify for both mortgages, current mortgage and new mortgage payment. You'd have to be able to carry both in that scenario, but we could work it in that way. Again, think of it this way. The mortgage company is looking at, if you sell your home and you move, what's happening with your income. So you would have to be able to purchase that home without the current home sold. Now, option 3 in this scenario, which is great. If you can locate a job and you can get a job offer letter. So that company gives you an offer letter and says, hey, we would love for you to start on July 1st. This is what your salary will be. This is what the benefits will be. This is what your job title will be. This is how you will be paid. You don't necessarily need to be there and start working and have pay stubs in hand in order for us to utilize that new job's income. And a lot of people don't realize that. So you could absolutely sell your home, get to the property, unpack, get settled for a few weeks, and then start that new job. So that is an opportunity that a lot of people don't realize is an option. As long as we can verify your start date, your position, and your income, we would be able to utilize that as your income moving forward to qualify for that loan. So that is another scenario. There are so many ways to make it work. There's scenarios where we can show your current property as your as a rental, that you want to depart it and rent it, and you want to go and you want to buy another property. There's ways to do that. So there's a lot of things that we can do that we can help you. We need to talk to you personally to determine what your choice is. What is your goal? What is your plan? How do you want to make that plan happen? And then what is the best method of attack? How do we get that scenario put together for you? You could buy the new property as a rental property. So, there's so many things that we can do that we could look at to make it work for you. That the best thing to do, if you are concerned about qualifying and employment income, would be to give us a call and talk to us about it, and we'll figure out what the very best way is to move forward for you. Now, I do want to talk a little bit, we're going to go to a super fast break, but I do want to talk a little bit about getting the loan, getting pre-approved, how long is it good for, looking for property in an area where you don't live, which it can get a little bit more difficult. So like I said, this show is going to be all around getting you guys prepared if you do want to relocate, and truly that's going to be about 60 miles from where you live now and all the way across the country. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, NMLS ID 237926.
She's a mortgage mom.
This is Debbie Marcoux, the Mortgage Mom. Well, consumer debt is at an all-time high. Many of you are tapped out on those credit cards, but many of you have a lot of equity in your home. It might be a great time to explore a home equity line of credit or home equity loan. Give me a call at 844-935-3634 or head on over to my website at mortgagemomradio.com.
She's a mortgage mom. She can get things done when you're in need and don't know where to go. Pick up the phone and call mom.
All right, so welcome back to Mortgage Mom Radio. I'm Debbie Marcoux. I am the Mortgage Mom, and today we are talking about relocating out of state and getting you guys prepared, or even relocating within state, but moving more than 60 miles away from your current home or from your current employer. And so we want to talk about getting you guys prepared for that. So one thing that I did mention, I gave you guys the scenario. We went through different options, and I said, you just got to call the office. You've got to talk to us about what it is that you're looking for, and then we'll make sure that we create a plan for you to make it happen. Now, another thing that I have people do is they are getting relocated with their current job. Their current job is relocating them to another state, to another town in their same state. And, you know, they're trying to figure out how to make it all work. They've got to sell their house to get the money out of it to buy the next one. They've got to, but they, they can't buy one before selling the other, but they've got to make it all happen together, and they get really, really overwhelmed in that scenario. And so I want to let you know that it is a very, very common scenario, and it is something that is easily coordinated. It sounds like a lot, and it seems like it would be overwhelming, but it truly isn't. The number one most important thing is that you are working with a real estate agent who has another real estate agent that they work with where you want to go to. You want to make sure that your real estate team is very, very close and that they work together to coordinate everything, the sale of your property and the closing on the new property. It's very important that those things are coordinated. But it is very doable and it is very easy. So when you are trying to find the right real estate agent to sell your home, you want to, number one, you can start with us because obviously we're working in multiple states. We're doing loans in multiple states. We have real estate agent relationships that we work with in all of these states. And so it's very easy for us to be able to put you together with a team that can help you, that can work together, who have worked together before. And it's very important because that person, let's just say as an example, you're moving from California to Georgia. Georgia transactions work very differently than California transactions. California contracts are very different than Georgia contracts, and vice versa. So what you're dealing with the buyer buying your property and the terms of the contract and the contingency timeframes are not necessarily going to be the same for you in the state that you're moving to. Your contract is going to be different, and the laws there are going to be different. And so it is really important that the two agents are working together to make sure that they're putting the right timing and the right verbiage in the contracts for you so that one home does close, you get your funds get wired to the next property, you have funds in hand that you can move out of your property and pay the moving company, and you can be on your way to get to where you're going, show up, sign documents, get keys, and move in. And it is very, very easy to do that, but it does take a team. It really does take a team. And it needs to be a good team. So when you decide who you'd like to work with for selling your home, wherever that might be located in whatever state, and then you figure out where you're moving to, you're going to want to ask either me or that real estate agent selling your home who they know that they feel comfortable with to refer you to with where you're going next. Again, the team concept is very important, but it can absolutely be coordinated and it can go off without a hitch. No issues whatsoever if it is done correctly. So what I like to see is I like to see your home close. I like to see that you have 3 days at the time of closing to hand over your keys to your new buyer. So that's very important to be put in the contract when you're negotiating with the buyer coming in. You have 3 days to get packed up. Why do I like that? Because within that 3 days, you'll have proceeds wired to you that are going to come to you, to your pocket. You'll have proceeds wired to the next closing company where you're buying. You'll have cash in hand to pay the moving company when they show up, and you can get up and out of your way and on your way to your location before, without having to worry about coming up with money out of pocket to make this move happen, because that sometimes can get very difficult to do. Sometimes you really do need those proceeds out of that house before you could pay a moving company to be able to make that move. Sometimes you need the proceeds out of that house just for other things in general. So I like it when the agent gives you that 3 days to be able to hand keys to the buyer, to get yourself prepared and to be able to breathe a little bit easier. And then the new property, what's nice is that your closing then is going to be set up for pretty much the day that you're going to be rolling in to town. So it is, again, very important that you're working with two agents who are communicating very, very well with each other. And we'd be more than happy to help refer you to great teams that we have worked with in the past, depending on where it is that you are moving from and to. So just something to keep in mind. But again, a lot of people think, oh, it's just not possible to do it that way. I just want to sell my house first and I want to get there and I want to move in, and then I'm going to deal with everything else. And it can actually very, very easily be coordinated, and it can happen. So keep that in mind. Now, another thing that is really, really important for you when you're making that long distance move is to understand simple things that are going to be different from where you live now. And so these are very important things to have conversations with your lender, with the real estate agents that you're going to be working with. Think about doctors. What kind of doctors do you need? Research that area. Start to set those things up in advance. We want you to have a move that is successful. Simple things you'd never even think about. So a dog, a vet, if you've got pets, your cats, whoever it is, if you need a vet, it is very important for you to be researching what vets are in town. Do I need to make sure that I make an appointment to get mine in for a well check so that I can get on, their patient list in case something does come up? What kinds of doctors do you need? Make sure that you're getting that information from the agent where you'll be moving to. You want to know that they've got the services and the specialists in the area where you're trying to move to. So we want to get you all prepared for all of that. And it is definitely something that you're more than welcome to call our office and speak with us. But the bottom line is making sure that we can get you qualified. So let's talk about that pre-approval, because that is important. A lot of people that are making a longer move like this, like what we're talking about, they want to get prepared further in advance. The last thing that you want to do is put your home on the market and list it for sale and find something that you want, and then find out that you can't get qualified for a loan that you need. And now you've sold your house and you've got no house to move to. So getting pre-approved is something that you do want to do. You want to do it in advance. And again, especially when you're making a longer distance move, it feels better to know further in advance that everything is in place. You know what price you can be looking at. You know how much money that you're going to need. You know whether or not you're going to need to solidify a new job where you're going to prior to getting there in order to qualify or not. So all of those things are important. So I want to talk about a pre-approval. Pre-approvals are good for as long as you keep everything updated. So that is one thing to keep in mind. Your pre-approval is not just good for 30 days. Your pre-approval is actually good for as long as you continue to update the paperwork. So we can absolutely do a complete pre-approval and keep that pre-approval active for as long as you need us to. So what do we have to update along the way? Your pay stubs are good for 30 days. So every time that one of your pay stubs becomes 30 days old, we ask you to replace that with a newer pay stub. Every time that your bank statement becomes 30 to 60 days old, depending on the type of statement that it is, we're going to ask you to update that statement. Your credit report is good for 120 days. So we do not need to pull a new credit report but once every 4 months. So it is something that, again, we're just going to continue to update information. Send me a new pay stub as you get it. Send me the new bank statements when they come out. And we're going to continue to just keep your file updated, which means that your pre-approval does not expire. Get it done early enough in advance so that you know exactly what you need to do. Do you need to sell the home first? Could you possibly purchase without selling it? How much money are you going to need? Can you move without needing to secure a new job? Do we have a way to do that? What kind of loan will that look like? How long would I want that loan to be outstanding for? So we want to take you through that process, and we want to get you prepared. And the best thing to do that is to call us. get on the schedule, go to the website, book an appointment. However it is that you need to get a hold of us, do it. We answer the phones Monday through Sunday. If it will on the weekend, I want to remind you all, on the weekend, it will go to voicemail, but we return every single call. So even if it is Saturday, even if it is Sunday that you are listening to this show, that you want to give us a call, you want to talk to somebody, just leave a message. We are going to call you back. Or if you'd like to schedule that appointment for a convenient time for you, go to the website, go to mortgagemomradio.com, and you can actually book your appointment right on the website. So I hope I brought you guys some great valuable information. I don't want to keep this show going and make it too long. That makes it to where people don't want to tune in and check it out. But I do want to make sure you guys know that we are here for you. We can help you in multiple states, and it is much, much easier for you to have one point of contact. You are calling us, we're getting you situated, we're getting you pre-approved, and then you are on your mission to go look at homes. And remember that where it is that you want to move to, it is really important, guys. Don't buy a house just via Zoom. At least book 1 or 2 trips to where you want to go, see your neighborhood, see the area, go look at a couple of homes there, get a good idea of how things feel. Then from there, Zillow, Redfin, Zoom, FaceTime with your real estate agent, that's all okay. But definitely at least put a little bit of time to the side to go make a trip at least once or twice so that you know that the area that you're buying in that you're going to be happy and sufficient with. So with that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I'm going to hope to be able to stand up and get out of this chair. I'm going to go find some ice and I'm going to sit on it for a little while. I hope you guys have a fabulous one, and I will be back again here next Wednesday at 1 p.m. See y'all real soon. Bye-bye.
Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, NMLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida L076508, Georgia 69178, Idaho MLO 208023796, Illinois 031.0058339, Missouri, North Carolina I210940, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington MLO 237926.
She's the mortgage mom. She can get things done when you're in need and don't know where to go. Pick up the phone and call mom.